Hi there guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm finally going to explain what it was that caused the problem with the TVR, with the Chimera. If you remember, I had a breakdown in it. It ran out of electricity. The battery went completely flat and the battery wasn't charging, the alternator wasn't putting any power into the battery, and I did loads of little videos investigating, trying to find out what had caused it, but I've realised that I've never actually put them all together into a video. So in this video today, I'm finally gonna explain what the problem was and how I fixed it, and it's so ridiculous when you get to the very end what it was that caused the issue. Honestly, right, so this is a little mixture of videos that were all done at different times, and it don't really follow on perhaps quite as well as it should, so you'll have to just forgive me for it being a little bit higgledy-piggledy, because I did like a couple of videos there and a couple of videos there and then a video here, and yeah, so some of it I've not even bothered putting in, some of it I've left it out. So this is just me just basically going through how I solved what was a very simple, very basic little issue. Stay tuned.
Hi there guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this little video today, I'm going to tell you how I fixed the TVR. So this is just a little intro. As you can see, I'm just out and about, having a little cruise. Car's just running really nice, and yeah, so if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that I had some issues where it broke down on me, and in this video I'm going to show you how I went about finding out what it was and how I went about fixing it. And watch till the end, you'll see it was the most stupid, daft little thing that caused the problem, and I was absolutely pulling my hair out and laughing at myself that I'd missed it. So stay tuned and I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, so this is a good one. Rev the engine and the speedo goes up with it. TVR, gotta love them. So just to explain, so at this point I thought that the obvious culprit was the 100 amp fuse. So basically on the Chimeras there's between the alternator and the battery there's a 100 amp fuse, and if that fuse blows then it stops the alternator from charging the battery, and hence the car runs just on battery power until the battery is flat, and then it does what it did to me, and it runs out of electricity and it stops. So the first part is me trying to find the 100 amp fuse and then checking it and making sure it's okay. And in the process I found another fuse, which you'll see in this next little part.
Yeah, this video is about the TVR, but if you've been watching what I'm doing with Owen, yeah, if you've not seen that video then please do go and watch it. So yeah, I'm actually just having a little fiddle with the TVR. I've got it jacked up and supported on an axle stand, and I'm just going to show you underneath where the high power fuse is. So I'm just going to put the torch on back in a sec. Right then guys, so I'm just going to show you where it's located. So this is on the driver's side. Obviously I'm in the UK, so this is a right-hand drive car. Yeah, as you can see, my axle stand does look a little bit sketchy because I'm on gravel, but I've let it sink down as far as it can down to solid ground, and it is now on solid ground, so I am okay. But I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to crawl under on my back and I'll show you where the fuse is. So the fuse on mine is there. So it's in this box. As you can see, I've taken off the little clip, the little cable tie, taken the cover off, and this has actually got a 125 amp fuse in. Now I've checked the fuse, done a continuity test, and the fuse hasn't blown. The fuse is actually perfectly fine. So yeah, one thing I have noticed while I've been under here is I seem to have got the good old leaky sump. So that's something I'm going to have to sort out at some point. Put a new sump gasket on it. Probably get one of them adapters that makes it clamp so it doesn't leak. Chassis is pretty good though, and I'm looking underneath here. A lot of it's still got the original grey paint. A lot of it's covered in underseal. They are the adjustable shocks. I'm actually going to lower the front very slightly. The outriggers are pretty solid. They've got some surface rust on. I'm going to have to clean that up, wire wheel it, clean it up, but they all look absolutely solid. But I said that about Owen, me Cavalier, so yeah. but yeah, so the fuse is actually okay, and I'm just going to show you the location of a second fuse. Sorry about the dodgy camera work. But down here in the passenger footwell, this is where the battery lives, inside this carbon I nearly said carbon fibre then, not carbon fibre, you know what I mean, fiberglass box. And that's the engine ECU. There's all this wiring and plugs, and that's obviously a plug that's not used. Don't know what that is actually for, but under here on the earth cable, if I can just move the carpet out of the way, is it the earth or the positive? I think it's on the positive. I've lost it now. Here we go. So on the positive cable there is another fuse box and another 100 amp fuse, and that one is also completely okay. Again, done a continuity test, but you can see just looking at it, it's absolutely fine. So yeah, so this one in here is 100 amp and one under the car is 125 amp, and both them fuses are fine. So I've got to try and work out why the battery went flat, and I think the only reason can be that the alternator is goosed. So I've charged the battery. I might not do it today because I'm just working on my Cavalier on Owen, but I might put the battery on, start it up, and then I'll use my ammeter to check what voltage is at the battery with the engine running, because then that'll tell me, of course, if the alternator is actually charging or if the alternator is not charging, in which case I know that my alternator is the problem and that's why the battery went flat. So yeah, all good fun, all good fun. Right, so at this stage, this is where I now knew that it wasn't the 100 amp fuse that had blown that was causing the problem. The other fuse under the dashboard was also fine as well. So I'd come to the conclusion that it wasn't the fuse that had blown. So that's that eliminated. So now I've got to try and find out why the battery isn't charging, and it's time to test the alternator side of things and see what's happening with the alternator. Right then guys, so I'm just trying the TVR. So I've just wired up the fully charged battery. I'm just going to use my ammeter, voltmeter, and just confirm that the voltage, a bit difficult to do this one-handed, but it is showing 12.65 volts. There we go. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the car and then we'll see what it is showing then. Right guys, I've not bothered taking the steering lock off. We're in neutral. Let's go. Okay, so we started. One of the weird oddities I've got is when you rev the engine, oh, it's not doing it there. Oh, it is, there you go. So the speedo revs as well. Right, I'm now just going to go back around the other side and check what the voltmeter's showing. Right then guys, so with the engine running, same test, exactly the same. Well, it's actually dropping because the engine's obviously running off the battery. Now that should be at 14 something if the alternator was working. I've checked the fuses are fine, so it's just running off the battery. So I think it's pretty safe to say the alternator is the issue. So there we go, guys.
Right, so I now know that the battery is not charging and it's discharging with the engine running. Now, amazingly, even though I've been working on cars, helping me dad, helping me granddad working on cars for 40 odd years, I never knew this one simple basic fact, that some alternators have an exciter wire. And this exciter wire puts a 12 volt power supply to the alternator to energize the alternator, so that when the engine starts, the alternator is energized and it starts to generate electricity. I never realized that. Yeah, I don't know how I never knew that. It just goes to show that even at 48 years of age, that every day is a school day and you're always learning new things about cars. So, knowing that the alternator has an exciter wire with a 12 volt supply, the next thing to do was to find out if that 12 volt supply was actually getting to the alternator and energizing it. So that's the next bit.
Right then, guys, so I'm on with the TVR again. This wire here is actually the exciter wire that feeds power to the alternator. I hot wired it with that wire straight to the battery, and the alternator is now producing more than 14 volts. So that's proven that the alternator is actually all right. So I've just been checking fuses. I've got the battery box and the battery out of the car currently. I'm just checking fuses under the dash, which is under there like that. And look what I've found. 15 amp fuse, blown. That one is blown. So I've got a new 15 amp fuse, which I'm going to put in, and I'm going to see where we get. Oh yes, guys, look at this. Engine running. 14.1 volts at the battery. The alternator is charging. We're cooking on gas. Happy days. Happy days. The TVR is back up and running. I've just got to put it all back together now. Happy, happy, happy days. Awesome. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. So that's all it were. That 15 amp fuse. Grill.
Yes, guys. Yes. A 15 amp fuse. One little teeny tiny 15 amp fuse cost me 80 quid. Why did it cost me 80 quid? Because that's what it cost me to have the car recovered back home from where I broke down. A 15 amp fuse. Now, that 15 amp fuse is the one that is responsible for feeding power, as I've discovered, to the alternator exciter circuit. It also does the blower fan on the dashboard, and it does the various things on the dashboard, such as the engine temperature, the oil pressure. Obviously the speedo goes all wappy as well if that fuse blows. And what it was that morning, I think I did explain this in a previous video, but basically what had happened, I had the fan on full. It was a bit of a cold morning. I had the fan on full to demist the windscreen. Driving down to work, it coughed and spluttered and the fan started going funny and then cut out. That's obviously, knowing what I know now, the point at which the fuse had blown. The fuel gauge had dropped right down to the bottom as well, or very near to the bottom. I'm like, oh crap, I'm thinking I'm running out of fuel at that point. I thought I was running out of fuel. So I pulled into a fuel station, stopped, put fuel in, started back up, carried on driving to work. But obviously what had happened is that's the point at which the fuse had blown. I'd then stopped in the fuel station, put the fuel in, started back up, but now the alternator was no longer charging the battery because the exciter circuit was now no longer working because the fuse had just blown, but I didn't know that. So I drove all the way to work, down the motorway, with the battery discharging. So then that's why when I was coming home that night, I started the engine at work and it was a little bit slow to start because obviously the battery power was depleted. And that's why I only managed to do another 2-3 miles until it was completely flat and I had the breakdown. So it was all because of that exciter circuit not exciting the alternator, which meant the alternator was not charging. So it was discharging the battery. And that's all it was, that 15 amp fuse. So I have to now investigate why the 15 amp fuse blew. Is it because the blower fan is giving too much current draw? Has it got too much resistance in the motor itself? I'm going to see if I can rewire the blower motor so it runs off of a different independent supply, so that the exciter circuit and the dashboard never gets affected if the fuse for the fan blows again. But at least now I know. At least now I know. And hopefully anybody who owns a TVR, I mean, it's not limited to Chimeras. I'm sure it's going to be the same setup, probably on other TVRs of the same kind of era. Yeah, and that's all it is, that 15 amp fuse. No exciter circuit, no power charge. That's all it were. A 15 amp fuse. So needless to say, I now have a spare 15 amp fuse in my wallet, which I carry with me everywhere. So hopefully it never happens again. And if it does, I'm ready with a spare 15 amp fuse until I've sorted whatever it is that caused it to blow. So there we go, guys. So thank you very much for watching. And yeah, we learn something new every day, don't we, guys? Learn something new every day. So thanks a lot for watching. Can't even speak. Thanks a lot for watching. Please do like, please do browse the channel for other videos. Please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters.